Hi Cancer, I'm Desi. This is my channel Starchaeology Tarot. Welcome to here. This is your May tarot reading. I can't believe we're already in May. In the great words of Justin Timberlake, it's gonna be May. That guy knows. And when it's gonna be May, you know we gonna have a May tarot reading. Before we begin, Cancer, I want to thank you for being here, for liking, subscribing, being part of this collective. You are an irreplaceable part of this collective, and the energy that you bring to this digital space does not go unnoticed or unfelt by me. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and being a part of this and contributing to the good healing energy that we're all bringing to this with the intention of ascending. You play a big part. You play the biggest part in your own ascension, but you also help facilitate change in those around you by focusing on your ascension. When we focus on bettering ourselves, that's how we better the world. So I'm a big believer of that, and I know that many people here are also big believers of that. Thank you for joining me in that belief and for engaging in this channel in this way. Cancer, let's see what's up for you for May. No more talking, no more jabbing is what I was gonna say, but I meant gabbing. That's almost like the GIF or GIF question. Gabbing or jabbing? I think that's further proof that it is GIF. Leave your comments below. All right, let's do this. Cancer, it's looking for you like May is about transcending a system, whether that is a physical system or a belief system, a dogma, almost a religious way of thinking, believing, operating. And the transcendence of that system as being crucial to leaving behind grief and sorrow and loss, allowing your grief of something, pain that you're feeling over the loss of something to move through you, or rather you to move through it and then beyond it. It's almost what I'm hearing is that this system in place, whether it is society or a familial type of system or some sort of tradition, some sort of community groupthink that is actually keeping you in a place of grief. It's actually keeping you in a constant state of focusing on your loss, focusing on sorrow and what you have to grieve. I'm hearing, Cancer, for some of you, it's like it's not your natural impulse to be focusing on this cup half empty, but there is something about others' influence on you right now that keeps you very focused on the cup half empty when you keep trying to push back and say, no, it's actually half full. Or yeah, like I lost to this and I'm grieving this and I feel pain about it, but it doesn't define me. And yet other people are defining you by this loss. And it's very frustrating for you, Cancer. I'm really seeing that. For some of you, it's so frustrating that you are taking very reactive, spontaneous action as this Knight of Swords to push back against that. You don't like to be labeled or pitied by people. And so it's causing you to kind of act reactively. What is the word I'm looking for? It might be causing you to act a little wildly or fanatically, like just charging into battle, waving your sword, you know, riding directly into the storm. maybe in a way that you haven't done before. I'm sensing, Cancer, that the power of this hierophant in your life, this dogma, this thing that you're almost defining as a kind of religion, this thing that you're defining almost as a type of religion, this groupthink or this cultural, societal influence or community, you don't normally act very wildly against that. Up until this point, maybe, or up until a certain point in your life, that influence was incredibly defining for you. It was a doctrine by which you lived your life. This hierophant was a code of rules and beliefs accepted by faith that you maybe you were indoctrinated into. It's like depending on someone else having figured something out for you and you accepting that as truth, accepting someone else's truth as your truth. Now you're seeing that truth, that one size fits all approach, is causing you a great deal of pain. It's keeping you in this place of sorrow and grief, or it's kind of taught you something about your sorrow, grief, and loss that is now clashing with some deeper inner truth that you have. It's almost like that belief that groupthink has been challenged in some sort of way, and it's not holding up against the challenge in your real life experience. So this is causing you to rebel against this, to kind of, have this Knight of Swords energy of just riding directly into the storm of this dogma, of this doctrine, and attacking it almost reactively, because it's contradicting an inner dogma that is starting to grow within you and take shape within you, that's coming from your real life experience, your truth, not somebody else's truth. The thing about the Knight of Swords is that he does suggest a kind of element of innocence, and you haven't battled against this community before, this groupthink before. So there is a part of you that is utilizing that innocence and lack of experience almost as bravery. It's fueling rather a sense of bravery in you to go out and fight what is here. You haven't lost a battle against the man before, or against this religion before, whatever that religion is for you, that groupthink, that outer doctrine. But you haven't lost a battle before because you haven't challenged it in this way before. And I just want to encourage you, Cancer, you might lose some battles here against this. This might be a struggle. And although you're brave and you are ready to charge at these problems, you might be surprised at the obstacles that reveal themselves along the way. That is not reason for you to turn around or to put your sword down and stop fighting this battle. Rather, quite the opposite. See those obstacles and those challenges as further fuel to educate you in your experience in following your inner dogma. Just because there's challenge doesn't mean that you are wrong in opposing this greater, this tradition, whatever this hierophant represents. There's also a sense of tradition here, convention, doing things because this is how it's always been done, and this is not working for you. Going against this for anyone in history is never an easy thing. It is not an easy thing to oppose that. That is an incredibly powerful force, and it's a defining opportunity for you to butt heads with that. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. But it's not easy. And you are perfectly ready for this opportunity, Cancer, now. You are strong enough. You have the tools that you need to butt heads with this dogma, to butt heads with this tradition and convention. So when you meet obstacle, remind yourself, oh, I'm meeting this obstacle because I am ready to meet it. I'm meeting this challenge because it's time for me to overcome this challenge. I am finally touching this challenge because I'm finally strong enough, able enough to face it. And it might not go as, again, as easily as you think it will. But if it were that easy, it also wouldn't be so rewarding. It wouldn't be so defining of the strength of your character, Cancer. This might be a longer struggle than you expect. And that's okay. Because you are defining yourself based on an inner dogma, and that is not something that happens overnight. That is something that is slowly built, collected, crafted. You're starting a greater education beyond the education that tradition and convention taught you. So this greater education, Cancer, it's the beginning of a journey. And I also see what's happening for you. Some of you, regarding this sorrow, coming back to this, for some of you, the sorrow and the pain and the loss is actually regarding the tradition and convention and groupthink, the intellectual tradition, the dogma, the religion of something. It's you seeing that isn't absolute truth. And I'm hearing for some of you, this is a huge tearing because you are recognizing this isn't the truth for you. Even though you've subscribed to it unquestioningly for a very long time, maybe for some of you since birth. And just because it isn't true anymore doesn't mean that you can just turn it off or just turn your back to it and feel happy to know the truth. Instead, for some of you, you will be going through a great process of grief and loss. It's like the loss of innocence in a way. There is a loss of innocence happening. Where you, this is another interpretation of this Knight of Swords, where you kind of blindly believed in something, innocently, wildly believed in something that your society or culture or family told you was the truth, that this is this outer doctrine, this is the code of rules and beliefs that we accept on faith that is true for everyone. And it simplified life for you in a way that was incredibly comforting. When you are forced to question something that you once accepted on faith alone, that everyone around you, your tribe, subscribes to and believes in, questioning that is an incredibly painful experience, because you are singling yourself out from your tribe. It's a way of immediately feeling alien and feeling unstable and insecure. It's a lot harder work to craft your own inner doctrine than to subscribe to someone else's. And so some of you are going to be grieving the loss of this group think, because it's a loss of comfort. It was comfortable to have that, and it's sad to see it go. It doesn't mean that was the truth, and you're sad that, oh, this is something I need, and I'm grieving it. I'm grieving it because I need it. You can grieve something you don't need anymore. You can grieve something that was never good for you. You can grieve something that is no longer true for you. And it doesn't mean that grieving it does not give it value. Grieving it doesn't mean, oh, maybe I shouldn't be letting go of this. Maybe I shouldn't be losing this or saying goodbye to this. No, you can grieve something that you very much need to say goodbye to. And your growth beyond this convention and structure, Cancer, is crucial to opening yourself up to something much bigger than you. The well is at the bottom of this deck. This is the by the way, this is the Ethereal Visions By the way, this is the Ethereal Visions deck. So we have 2 extra major arcana cards in here that we don't normally have in traditional tarot decks. And the Well is one of those cards. The Well represents the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, transformation. All things are birthed from this source, and it's almost like, because it comes after the World card, this completion, you know, the World represents completion. It represents chapters ending and harmonizing of the dualities of life and real awakening. It's like once we awaken to the truths of ourselves, then we open ourselves up to the knowledge available in the Well, all that there is. It's almost a dying of ego and realizing, oh, I've learned all, you know, I've learned things about myself so that I'm able to now put that aside. I'm able to now almost live beyond myself, beyond this ego, beyond my identity in this form, in this life, so that things aren't so personal for you. I don't know if this is resonating, Cancer, but I would love to hear what this is specifically for you. It's almost like the Hierophant for you, tradition, convention, has kept you rooted in ego in a way that now you're realizing, I need to grow beyond this. I need to grow beyond how I identify or not identify, how I, you know, group myself with people or separate myself from people in order to realize greater truths about my existence. And my existence is everyone's existence. That is the energy of the Well, of opening yourself up to something so much greater than yourself that you become a minute detail. Your identity becomes inconsequential in the truths and experiences you have when you are connected to source energy. I also see that as being able, some of you are connecting to this Well energy so that you can process loss and grief in a way that you haven't been able to process before, because you've only been seeing it through the lens of ego, through the lens of your identity and what's precious and personal to you. I need to drink some water. It's really hard to process and reflect on things that are difficult for us when they're so wrapped up, when that sorrow and pain is so wrapped up in our own identity and our ego. You know, it's the definition of taking things personally, and it's really hard to process painful events when we continue to take those events very personally. So this is almost like an opening yourself up to something beyond yourself so that you can process that grief, sorrow, pain, loss in a way that isn't personal anymore. And that's what ultimately liberates you from it, Cancer. Really beautiful. So much going on here, so many different meanings. I would love to hear how this looks specifically for you. What resonated with you is what is meant for you. What didn't is what is not meant for you. So if you'd like to share, please comment below. Please share your heart with me. I love to hear from you. Ooh, thunder. I love to hear from you. I love to connect with you, and I'm so grateful you're part of this collective, Cancer. Thank you for being here. I'm wishing you such an expansive May. Connect to that Well energy and transcend this version of you. Transcend the outer doctrine that you've accepted as fact unquestioningly, and really step into that inner dogma, that inner doctrine that you are going to continue crafting and tweaking, you know, throughout the rest of your life. This is where real magic happens in personal growth. So what a beautiful May this potentially can be for you. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye.